So I received an email from a transgender subscriber of mine, and she made a series of excellent points in regards to my characterization of the social construct that is woman, as opposed to the biological sex that is female. And I think that these are important. I think they're well worth going over, and I hope that the video response I give will be acceptable in lieu of a response email. But I figure that this is probably something that a lot of people might have wondered, or, a section of people might be wondering. And I think it's worth clearing up, because you raised some really great points, and hopefully I'll stillman your points, and hopefully I'll address them adequately for you. So you say, first off, the issue with your defining woman as being able to give birth runs into all sorts of problems which are vastly more far-reaching than you first might think. The most obvious one is that you've covered, yes, women will feel less like a woman because of their lack of capacity to give birth, but it doesn't stop there. Under this line of reasoning, the natural conclusion is that any woman who doesn't give birth, even if she can, is not a real woman, as it were. Yeah, I kind of do actually think that's probably true. I think that being a real woman and being manly and being womanly, fulfilling the gender roles of man and woman, I don't think they're binary. I don't think they're on or off. I think they're actually on a gradient. And I think that a man who does certain things that are considered to be manly becomes more manly than men who don't do these things. And I think the same can be said for being a woman. Now, it's up to you as an individual to decide how much value you put on those things, but I think there are quite a few people who put value in these things. And I think that it's really important to... maybe I didn't make this clear, but I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. I don't think it's the only thing that makes a woman, that's the fact that she can conceive children and give birth. I don't think it's the only thing that makes a woman. But I do think it is one of the core pillars of what a woman is, and the gender role of woman. It's definitely built around the idea that there is a different kind of person to male in society that is physically different and has a different purpose when biologically we are considered. So, and it's a kind of social negotiation between those two types of people that has created the gender roles. And it's not only that women give birth, but that is one of the primary things that essentially trans people will never do. So when you say trans women are women, not you personally, but when a feminist says trans women are women, that doesn't really stick as well as it should. And I don't think ever really will stick, because ultimately you will always, if you're like a regular person, most people do want to get married and have kids. And so if you're looking for a long-term relationship in which you can raise a family, it's always going to be pertinent to you to have to ask that person, are you capable of bearing children? Because if they're not, then the relationship is never going to provide you what you're actually looking for. And so it's never going to satisfy you. And so it's never going to be that a trans woman is actually a woman without the ability to biologically procreate, I think. I'm not saying that can't happen in the future. Who knows, But I think that that's definitely a thing that's true. And then, yeah, I mean, women who don't reproduce, maybe they are less womanly than women who do reproduce. I would probably say so, to be honest. It's quite, because like women aren't females. The women. That's a great quote for people to take out of context. But like a female child isn't a woman, and I mean, people want us to believe that female male-bodied people who have transitioned to female-bodied people. I don't think they're necessarily women either. I think they can become women, or at least something close enough that we would just automatically approximate them being women, and at least for the sort of broad social categories of man and woman, that someone's obviously putting in the effort and things like this and getting surgery, you would do it out of a form of politeness, even if the knowledge that they weren't a real woman was there, because they'd fill other categories that they would try and hit, like physical presentation and manners, things like this. The other components that make up the gender role, that person can fulfill. But I think the one that prevents trans women from ever truly being women, in the sense that I think most people understand it, is their inability to give birth. Do we really want to return to a society where eunuchs are held to a different standard under the law? I don't think there's anything that should be legislated for or against. I think these are social standards that will always hold because of the necessary social interactions that men and women have with one another. They want to form families and fall in love and have children. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the gender role is about companionship and all this sort of thing, and affection. And these are definitely aspects that a transgender person could quite easily fulfill as a biological woman can. And this is why in many ways I personally am happy to use people's pronouns if they're putting in the effort. But you're always going to have that barrier. She goes on to say, worse yet, by having stated that a woman, by circumstances of her birth, is of value explicitly because she can be pregnant, it means you have basically conceded to the feminist statement that women are worth more than men by this argument a woman who can't give birth is worth less than a woman who can. Well, only when it comes to reproductive ability. But to be honest with you, reproductive ability's got value. I mean, obviously some people it doesn't, because a lot of people self-castrate apparently these days. But get themselves sterilised. But yeah, I think that, social value. You've conceded to the feminist statement that women are worth more than men. I'm not sure that feminists say that. I think feminists are under the impression that women are worth less than men, because they view the world through like a corporate lens, and they seem to view everything through the lens of money. And by that statement, I think they're annoyed that men are doing so well, even with women having all the advantages that they have. But yeah, a woman who can't give birth is worth less than a woman who can. Well, if you're looking to have children, then yes, she kind of is. It's a harsh reality, but I don't think that's untrue. This gets into further issues such as the golden uterus syndrome. Yeah, trans people essentially perpetuating a thought crime by merely thinking they're the wrong gender, as well as things like providing tax benefits for married couples without children, whether an adoptive mother counts as a real mother. Well, these are all arguments, obviously, things that have to be discussed. But I don't think that they fundamentally refute the idea that part of the gender role of woman is being able to give birth to children. I think it is. If I married a woman who was sterile but never told me, she was just not trans, just wasn't able to have children, and she never told me, and we were trying for ages, we got married, and she'd known before we got married, I would feel betrayed, because I would have made it clear going into the relationship that, look, if I get married, I'm going to want to have kids. And if she goes, yeah, okay, that sounds great, we'll try and do that, and knowing that she can't do that, there is definitely an element of betrayal there, isn't there? There is an expectation, and I'm not saying that there aren't people who don't have these expectations or anything. This is not hard and fast, all or nothing. But I think this does describe the opinion of a large number of people, and ultimately, when we're talking about social constructs, that's what matters. It is basically the opinions of large numbers of people that make social constructs what they are. And woman is a social construct. It's just, I think, in this way, directly tied to female biology. And I think that was the point of it in the first place. So anyway, I hope that was interesting, and I look forward to hearing people's thoughts on it, frankly, because I'm not saying that this is something that I have a fully formed theory on necessarily, but I do think that that's something that you can't detach. And transgender ideology, however you view it, needs to find a way of surmounting that hill.